You?
Good, very nice. You?
Fine. Good evening.
Good morning, good morning. Are you
Good morning.
at office already?
Yes.
Really? Wow, you're
We start at 7 a.m.
wow, so early. And when do you go off the work?
Around 5.
Around
5. Yeah, usually 5.
wow.
Um, Sometimes I come around 7:30, 8 at the latest. But
You're
usually I'm at 7.
you're a very diligent man. You know that, right?
Oh, thank
You
you.
don't sleep at all.
Uh, I s- I sleep little. This morning I woke up at 4 and
What?
I started working with the Taiwanese.
Taiwanese. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
We have some e-bus companies interested on talking with us. So I wrote to them. Is a time where I would find them.
I see. So, well, anyways, the biggest purpose of today's meeting is actually to see you face to face since very long time, since we have talked, right?
You look very nice.
You look very nice too.
Thank you. How is the weather?
Weather in Korea is like -3, -4
Wow.
around, but it's
It's still very cold.
nice. Still a little bit cold, but it's getting
Okay.
nice.
We will get some cooler weather on the weekend. 13 degrees is
13,
unusual. 13 is unusual for this time. The past week has been around 40.
13 degrees is cold for you?
It's for this period of the year, yes.
I see.
It's still summer.
Oh, okay.
13 is more like spring or autumn.
Mm. Well, you are visiting Korea in March, right?
Yes, I will participate, G1, in KIMES, KIMES.
Ah,
I KIMES, I think it's medical device or medical
the
fair
biggest fair.
at COEX. Yeah.
I'll also have to see the schedule if I could, well, not join you officially, but I could also, yeah, go there and see the,
Yes.
yeah, general industry. Kines.
We have a small project like the one we have with Hyundai. Our counterpart is Synex, is
Mm.
consulting firm
Ah,
uh, for the medical device and pharmaceutical industry.
mm.
They left yesterday afternoon after a 10-day visit, and we visited 7 companies and some regulators, and we will continue working on a cannabis
Mm.
medical industry.
Uh-huh.
So this is interesting because Korea is almost at the same level of development. It's quite new, so we will learn together what could be the products, machinery, certification,
Mm.
legislation, regulation. So they invited me to participate in the trade fair. It's from March 23rd to 26th.
Ah, so the various areas of medical are in such consideration, right?
We by During the COVID, Kotra um, offered us a small project for the pandemic.
Mm.
But they had like emergency funds for health sector, and they offered us whether we would be interested, and we applied for medical device certification.
Mm.
But it was not approved during COVID, but it was approved a year later. So the medical device necessity was no longer there. So we redesigned, and we focus on uh, learning and pushing the cannabis medical pharmaceutical products.
Yeah.
And Korea also shared that it's in the beginning stages. The regulation is very tight. a lot of uncertainties, a lot of people with a negative view from cannabis medicine.
Mm.
So the Sinex wanted to do some research.
Mm.
How is the what are other countries doing for the production of raw materials or for the processing, and what health issues are being treated with cannabis medicine. So they really came with low expectation,
Mm.
but they left with a very good and positive view that we had already done some advanced research and testing, and this they will share with Korean private sector. So they would arrange a second visit to Korea in May, and during that opportunity, they would we would take the private companies here, 7 of them, to meet with their counterparts in Korea.
Mm.
And by August, which is the deadline for the ending of the project, we should expect some Korean companies to visit our laboratories
In Paraguay, right?
in Paraguay. Yes.
Ah, interesting. I and HRI have also interest in medical and also healthcare sector.
Oh,
So, yeah, of course. So I would like to discuss with you for what ODA models we should design and how we plan to initiate the project. But please do not feel pressure since this time's meeting is just the beginning of our talk, and I'd like to do the brainstorming with you today.
yes.
Maybe
Um,
maybe it would be great if we could design various projects in near future. So
G1.
yes,
Here also participated Mr. Park from Kotra.
Mr. Park.
Park Chulong Park, the director of
Ah,
Kotra,
I
who we met at
yeah,
dinner. You were there.
I was
Remember the day
I was
you
always
felt
there.
sick? You
Yes,
felt
yes,
sick,
yes.
and
I
he insisted that we this think of the sectors
mm,
more than one and apply for a ODA larger project. And we had thought about the automobile sector. Uh, the medicine now
mhm,
has introduced us to Korean manufacturers, and we um, think this is a good also sector. The private sector here also share that they have the Korean companies have good reputation, whether it's manufacturing products, machinery, tools, or raw material. So private companies are usually relying on raw materials from China and India,
mm,
but they have seen that Korean manufactures also raw materials with certification, and this certification would permit them to export to other more higher value markets.
mm,
So during the visit in May, they would meet with the uh, producers or suppliers of raw materials.
mm,
Um, Sinex also shared that Korean's pharmaceutical industry first stage was generic products, then research and development of local products, and then later on was a stage on medical tools device. So they said, well, you should expect that your industry should go to the next stage in a short period.
mm,
So we discussed with Sinex that it would be a good opportunity to connect um, medical device companies from Korea in
mhm,
May, and see whether some companies in Paraguay are ready to go to the next stage of manufacturing basic like uh, X-ray supplies or something like that. But we that was a good suggestion from Sinex.
mhm. Well, even though we have worked on KSP for automotive industry in Paraguay, however, I'd like to, I would not like to limit fields of cooperation to the automotive industry. Instead, maybe we can open to various areas. So
Please.
Yeah. I wish to hear your opinion if there are any areas, or maybe I listed on the email, such
Yeah.
as, what was it? The areas I listed on the email were healthcare, transportation in
Yes.
general, public administration, urban development, and etc. And the
Yeah.
reasons of these, I picked the areas, are actually the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Korea set CPS, which represent the country partnership strategy for the Republic of Paraguay. They set this goal every 2 to 3 years. And the
Okay.
latest version of this country partnership strategy for Paraguay has been issued in 1 or 2 years ago in May. And the main cooperative ODA areas are the healthcare, transportation in general, public administration, and urban development. So I'm sure the areas I mentioned has been adopted to various ODA projects already, such as KSP with Paraguay, several times already, and bigger projects from the Ministry of Industry of Korea, such as task project, as you well know. So
Yes.
yeah, I wanted to ask you if you agree with me, to open to the other various areas.
Of course, G1. I completely see the coincidence where Korea is already helping.
Mm-hmm,
Maybe the healthcare is the least presence, but Korea has some project in the transportation and public administration for sure, and urban development.
mm-hmm,
Um, I I think that the experience with Sinex and with Hyundai Research Institute we should exploit on the next stages. When we mention transportation, there's a big discussion on uh, electrical vehicles again,
ah,
and the IDB just conducted research on the perception of the population on EVs, which are the bottlenecks, whether it's the price of the vehicles, whether it's the absence of finance,
mm-hmm,
whether it's the lack of chargers or charging station, whether it's the uh, lack of trust of the people for the new technology.
ah,
But they had very many questions to see where is the main bottlenecks for the EV
mm-hmm,
um, promotion. From the perspective of the ministry, we're trying to push the public transportation first as a way of providing a new type of service at a low cost. So people will see that in the streets there's already e-buses or e-transportation,
mm-hmm,
and there's no difference or no with the traditional transportation. So under that scope, we are working very hardly with Taiwan. Taiwan, Taiwan's government will donate 10 buses, e-buses. That's the reason I was in Taiwan last year. But I proposed to Taiwan that instead of sending the complete assembled buses, we look for local companies who are willing to invest with Taiwanese companies for a joint venture and establish an assembly plant of e-buses, not for only domestic market, but also for sales to Brazilian market or South American market.
mm-hmm,
And of 4 companies in Taiwan, 3 of them said they're interested. One of them said that they already have a large demand from the domestic market, so they wouldn't want to commit outside Taiwan for now. And the other 3 companies are expanding. They're in Singapore, Indonesia, India, Japan, US, and Europe, but not in South America. So they're looking for establishing a production plant
mm-hmm.
to supply Colombia, Chile, Brazil, and Paraguay for now. So our based on the roadmap of the Hyundai Research Institute that we have discussed last year, we are moving forward on that direction, but for public transportation for now.
Okay.
In so that is something I think that for the next government, which we will have in August, is a new challenge or will be a challenge to continue working on the public transportation. As MIC, we would like to link it to domestic production, domestic Korean companies, of course. So this, I think, will have space for future projects, for sure.
Okay, I understood the situation, and then we might think about in near future the transportation in general. I mean the public transportation first, and also the healthcare. I think these two areas are the priority, I guess.
Yeah, the healthcare sector, G1 is also it's a surprise from some of my colleagues. I did some research in 2006, 2007, when I was appointed vice minister already, and we did a research on what is the state of the art of the pharmaceutical industry. In 2007, we already saw that it represented a sector of non-traditional manufacturing for Paraguay. It was not linked to agricultural raw materials processing. It was not linked to beef production or beef processing or soybean. So it represented a sector which private sector was investing on laboratories, on testing facilities, on supply for the government procurement, Ministry of Health. They replaced generic imported products, reduced cost. Back then we had some 20 companies. Now we have 33. We exported, I think, 16 million US dollars in 2006. Now we are exporting over 150.
Wow.
And lots of investment, lots of labor, different type of labor, better qualified, better paid. So 15 years later, this sector is still growing. And I think the pandemic was an opportunity to governments to review their policy on the healthcare issue. So we discussed this matter with the vice minister a few days ago, that we should look deeply into the healthcare sector to assure like food, the food security approach that many countries have. During the pandemic, we had no problem with the food supply, but we did have some problems with the health and medical devices issue. So for us, it is a key sector. We have good, strong private sector partners. Unlike the e-mobility, we have still to find key players, but in the health sector, we have good partners.
Okay. Well, actually, I have one question on the areas of public transportation in Paraguay. Did you mean establishment of transportation system first, or did you mean the electric buses?
Well, from the perspective of MIC, we focus on the buses for now.
Buses,
We try.
not electrical, but just general buses, right?
Sorry?
Not the electrical buses, but just general buses, right?
No, electrical buses focus.
See. Okay.
We focus on electrical buses because there's a big discussion that Paraguay should take advantage on the electricity production. And there's a struggle between suppliers and sellers of combustion engines. You know, they wouldn't like to be replaced. So it's such a big it's a big fight or large fight with them. So we rather go to the public transportation softly and review the tariff that currently are being paid by the population and provide a better service. So the idea is to push from the bottom the production of buses and provide some discussion on a new model of transportation. You know, this would include the services within the e-buses, the information gathered by this system. As you know, this is a system, it's not just a bus. And this would provide a discussion on how to manage a new type of transportation. This is still a very early stage. Ministry of Transportation would rather keep the traditional system because they have a lot of pressure from the companies, as you would expect. But from MIC, we're thinking that this could be an opportunity to introduce a new product, a new service to compete with the old system. And finally, the customers or the users will choose which one should prevail.
Well, the second factor, the related services such as informations, that could link to designing the smart city in Asunción, for example, and it could lead to the designing ODA models for urban development as well. So I guess it's very smart. Your government is very smart, I think. And I also have so many ideas right now. So yeah, thank you.
It's a first stage. I think that the South American market is very quite still unknown to Korea. Even with the people from Sinex, they did some research before coming for the first time in Paraguay. They never come, and they had confusion between Brazilian policy, Argentinian policy. They thought it was similar economic background, political instability, but they found like a very stable environment for investment. So they would meet with their private sector in Korea and suggest that they start doing some research on business opportunity. So the e-market or the e-transportation is huge. I was doing some research for the Taiwanese, and I found that e-buses in Chile have been supplied by BYD, a Chinese company. They've been supplying since 2017, 2018. Chile probably is the country which has replaced its most of its buses for e-buses. And now the next country which is actively replacing is Colombia. And also I read that Brazil is receiving Chinese joint venture companies for e-buses inside Brazil. So I think Korea should analyze some opportunities that could also participate in this huge market for e-buses.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I see.
And I'm thinking which other, well, I'm thinking which other sectors. For sure, we would like to link with Korea in the e-transportation, whether it's vehicles, buses, or supply with systems, software, batteries. We would like to follow some of the guidelines from the report from Hyundai. So we would have stronger support from any new government that this is a plan and a review vision. It's not something that just came out of MIC. It is something worked together with Hyundai Research Institute. So I would look at some of the recommendations and try to link with a possible new project for the automobile sector, whether it's auto parts, whether it's services. I have to be frank with you, G1. You might know that we have another project from Catec at. I have really my thoughts on that project. Maybe we can share some coffee and talk some more details in Seoul, but I really don't think it will contribute a lot.
Oh, really? Well,
Yes.
that's I feel sorry for that. Because I was going to ask you a question if HRI could have any chances or scope of work to cooperate with Cartech, because I thought Cartech
Yes.
work a lot and very well, but I'm not sure if
I
they
have well the project I think is good, but it has some very weak areas where you ask basic questions and you would find no replies.
Wow.
For instance, I asked them who is the customer of Catec in Korea, and I got the reply that it's Hyundai, it's Kia, and other manufacturers companies, whether they're auto parts suppliers or whether they're car manufacturers. And I asked them what services Catec provides, and they said we provide design, testing, certification, development. So that's the information I got when I visited Korea, and I visited the services and the relationship between private sector and Catec. My question here is, who is the customer in Paraguay of Catec? Who will use the services?
And there was
the reply was MIC.
What?
Yes.
They're not.
I said MIC doesn't manufacture anything. I said
You are the government, not the
yes.
customer.
Correct. We don't need that service. We don't require.
Right.
My first question is, why isn't private sector being involved from the beginning? So we are not aligning their necessity to what would Catec provide. We have already designed the sectors like molding, like we are already preparing the training of the people who would work at Catec, but we are still no confirmation whether the private sector needs that. So it's all from the perspective of government. Government is taking decision on sectors of training and on sectors of services of Catec, which we have zero confirmation from private sector. So at one point, there will be a lack of demand. But well, we have to review again that project. Right. It is not linked to any company. My suggestion was that we should link to the exporter of auto parts to Brazil, which already have a short demand, link to those companies, which other parts they could manufacture in Paraguay to reduce costs instead of bringing them from Korea, US, or China, and do that relationship. Let's train people to manufacture what Hyundai Brazil needs, for example.
Right.
And let's start increasing the supply of auto parts to a concrete demand from a company or from companies in Brazil. But so far, there's no discussion with. Even I had some lunch, dinner with the only Korean company that manufactures auto parts, which is THN.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said they had a negative opinion on Katek. They said, what is Katek doing uh, um, in the automobile sector? They said they're very good in training people and doing some testing, but they have no idea on what the business is in the automobile sector. They don't know how the business is run, not even in Korea. They said, so they were worried, and they had bad feelings on. So I think at some point we will have to stop and review again that. But this is just my confidential opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. It is cautious to say that, but I guess it's might be the failure of the ODA model design, and it's such a pity because there are so many big finances on that project, you know.
G1, it is completely a failure on the ODA design. And it's I've been in the cooperation field with international agencies for the past 25 years. And my most self criticism is that we usually don't participate actively in the design, in the discussions. And most of my colleagues just say, let's not review too much because it's foreign aid that's coming to Paraguay, you know. But I say it sometimes it's a negative aid if you don't discuss it.
Right.
So it will demand resources from Paraguay that we could use it in other fields. So it is completely a failure of the design.
Right. Right. Well, we
But this is just a comment that also is located in near Brazil, inside Itaipu, where there's absolutely no interest on private sector to participate. All the companies are more located near Asunción. So why would they send their staff to be trained some 300 kilometers away? And I asked my colleagues, why did you choose Itaipu? You know, and the answer was because they had free land. You know, and I said, but that's that a feasibility project should not be based on free stuff, whether government has or not. That's where I think government failed to do our good research on the demand or the connection with the true demand. Most companies are located near Asunción. They export from Asunción. But I think at some point we would have to review again the design and talk with Kiat maybe about the redefinition.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it still it aligns some of its outputs with the comments from the master plan of the automobile sector.
Well, actually, I tried to cooperate with Caltech in last March. It was on that task project, but Caltech denied. They didn't need any help from us, and I couldn't understand because I thought they might need some opinions or helps or any advices from private sectors, but they said no. So I could understand, but yeah,
I understand why, Jiwon.
why?
I will tell you in Seoul.
Okay, okay, yeah, let's
But truly,
right.
truly, what you just told me confirms my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You are the second person who confirms me from the other side of the lack of interest of
Mm.
Catech to do. I even had in the beginning concern with this project, and I discussed this with Catech at management level, and
Mm-hmm.
I asked basic questions, which to me was not clear. Why were they locating there?
Mm.
Why was an absence of or lack of contact with private sector? Who would be the clients or the users? How would it be managed or paid? Because really, I wish that this project could be sustainable without MIC and without CATEC in the future funds. It
Right.
would be self-managed.
Mm.
And I got blank replies, and I know that they feel uncomfortable with my questions.
Ah, well,
I
I
know.
I also have so much things to talk with you, but let's leave it on
Yes.
our meetings is whole
Okay.
in March, I guess. And this is the
And regarding the big ODA, we mentioned yesterday I had lunch with Mr. Park, and he again said, please work with a Sinex, Hyundai Research Institute, and others to design the project, which would include maybe said 3, 4, 5 sectors.
right.
So I still have to find the counterpart who would work with me on writing down the proposal of a PCP proposal.
Yes.
So this is something I still have to find.
Mm-hmm.
I think I always left a link with HRI, and now we have Sinex, who is interested on um, they also have connection with private sector. They have foundations linked to the healthcare industry, and they're very active on the possibility to connect private sectors with private sectors here. They're not what we're not just looking for a project on governmental level.
Mm.
We
Well,
we want to connect private sector.
writing on the PCP, you have me always on your side,
Yes,
and I'll
thank you.
start more on Paraguay and also ODA. So yeah, okay. I understood the situation. And well, actually, I had one more small questions to ask. Um,
Mm-hmm.
are there any political issues in MIC that might cause internal administrative obstacles? The reason I ask you this question is the most important factor to initiate ODA projects, as you well know, is your government's will that could lead to the signed letters. So I just wanted to ask if there's any obstacles, I should say.
You mean from the government level to with the Korean government?
Yes, yes.
No.
That's
You have to understand that um, you have two different staff from MIC.
mm-hmm.
You have like permanent staff, which is myself. I've been at 25 years. And then you have consultants,
Ah,
people who are part-time.
mm-hmm.
They rely a lot on political relationship.
I see.
Um, and they have one foot inside government and one foot in the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
My suggestion is always linked to permanent staff. Permanent staff is
Sure.
the one that has the political view of the MIC. They have the background information. They have all the connections to the government's policy, which does not change from government to government.
Mm-hmm.
Our industrial policy is similar from the past 20 years. We have been adjusting, but it does not change every 5 years. The sectors are deepened
Mm-hmm.
with the passing of the years, but we don't change completely like other countries do. The problem is when you have a counterpart from a consulting part-time at MIC, they do G1 have their personal interest. They will sell information to private companies and they will not tell you all the truth. They have interest, conflict of interest. So we're having that type of problems inside MIC, where some people in the automobile sector are pushing MIC to take some decisions, but with their own personal interest or behind interest. So this is a conflict, internal conflict we do have.
Okay.
And this is one of the issues at CATEC.
I see. I see.
You know, it's not very transparent, and
that's a problem.
there's personal interest on pushing some Korean companies and not providing MIC with the complete transparent opportunities. Also, on the other side of Korea, they're not opening to more companies to participate in the project and to bring truly the companies who are more competitive. So Korea for us is the #1 partner for the industrial development. I can assure them. We've been working with the Taiwanese and the Japanese, but we have a clear vision that Korea is a strong partner. It has been for the past 5 years. It has not changed. It has not weakened. The relationship and the cooperation that Korea provides has become stronger. So whichever government will come in August, we will provide results from different countries and agencies, and Korea will be #1, I can assure you, in the healthcare, in the automobile, in the electricity, e-vehicles. And also we are in the phase of presenting a PCP proposal for the industrial parks with the Korean Technopark Association under the Ministry of Small Business. We are working, we already have a advanced draft document. We should present it in this February, and it should be implemented in 2024, 2025. So the new government will find concrete results on the automobile policy, the healthcare, and also the infrastructure in industrial parks. Only Korea has provided this umbrella of assistance. So I can guarantee you that the political decision to work with Korea is 100%.
Yeah, if I talk to you, then there will be no problem, I think. Right.
So far, I'm staying. So this is something I can also assure you. At some point, the new government, it's a small country. We usually know someone from who would be in the next government's team, or someone in the next team will know me, and they usually will ask my opinion. And I have reputation of telling the truth, whether it's good or bad. So they would ask me behind 4 walls, tell us what's going on with CATEC, tell us what's going on with Hyundai. They would at least ask for my opinion. So I'm very comfortable presenting to them our current industrial policy and our current industrial policy partners, which Korea is #1, I would assure you.
Thank you. Well, I'll study very hard to design the firm ODA models. It's very important from the beginning, right?
Yes.
Learning from the experience of CATEC.
Yes. We have some starting points already. We don't have to start from zero. We should for example, discussion with Synex was interesting because they said that MIC selected a non-traditional sector, which is usually not selected by most countries to push its policy, the healthcare policy. And we selected a Korean partner. So they said that this is very unique, where you can see like a long-term development policy. It's not just an opportunity where you would take whatever comes free from Korea. You said, no, we want Korean partnership in the healthcare industry. And I also mentioned to them that we know Korea has experience in the medical device, as well as cosmetics. So we should also analyze this opportunity to increase participation in those other fields under the healthcare umbrella.
Okay, well, for about the ODA, I guess today I have asked you all the questions, and I have to brainstorm more for myself. And well, please tell me if you have any questions on the ODA.
It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful for the first brainstorming. I think it's very good.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for
your time, actually. And
hope to see you soon.
we have to move on to the another fun part, marathon. So
How is your father?
My father? My father
Yes.
is very well, and I also have to ask my father if he has some time in March. He has so many business trips, so
I'm sure. Is he participating in the Seoul Marathon?
He also failed to register.
Oh, to register.
It's very
Yes.
difficult. So popular these days because
Yes, I know.
after Corona, it's the first
Yes.
time. So that's why, I guess. So let me show you one Excel file.
Okay.
Do you see?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I highlighted with the green colors. This is
Oh, you are so wonderful.
Yeah, marathons occurring in March, and there are actually two, and I called the secretariat, and they still have availabilities for you.
Okay.
So let me show you the map, and you might refer to the location. Wait, please. Wait, please. Okay, here. The first one, the Korean, open race, Korea open race. It will be here.
Okay.
And let me explain you the location. This area is Gangnam, where you have stayed last year in Korea, and it's not far from Gangnam, Tukson.
No.
Yeah. So this is very nice to run as well. And
it would be around the Han River?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The Han River Park, the Korean open race. And the second one is actually not in Seoul, but Gyeonggi province, but not far from Seoul. So it will be occurring here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes by car from Gangnam area. And this is also very nice nature. Actually, my father enjoys a lot running in this area because this is what is this called? I'm not sure, but it's some kind of sports park. Here, boat race park.
Okay.
So it's very beautiful to run. So you can pick. You can pick or you can run the both. What do you think?
I think that I would since I would be on the 20th or the 23rd, the fair Times,
Ah, 23rd it is.
Yes, I would be arriving around the 18th or 17th of March.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, then let
So
me.
I think that's too early. And I have to share also that a member of the Tynex team that came here is a former Vice Minister of Health from Korea during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
His last name is Mr. Choi.
Okay.
I have to look at his name card in Korean. And I had lunch with him in since he said that the organizing institution of the Seoul Marathon is the city, the city mayor.
Mm-hmm.
He would try to contact them. He has some connections. He would try to contact to ask if there's still a possibility to run on the 18th.
Uh,
So I'm hoping for that.
okay.
If
Oh,
not,
it was my mistake. Korea Open race will be occurred in the 18th.
oh, that's good.
That's
That's good.
perfect, right?
That's perfect. That is perfect.
That is perfect, I guess, then.
Yes,
This is the
that would be.
strongest candidate for us.
Yeah, that's red. Yes, very, yeah, very green.
Yeah, very,
Correct.
very
Very
green, right?
green. Yes.
If you say, I mean, if you say yes to this
Hmm.
Korea Open race, and I would like to ask you the length of marathon, which one do you?
There are three options: 5, 10, and half.
Yeah,
Yes, I would choose the half.
the half. Okay.
Yes, which is 21.
If you are sure about this, then I will register it tomorrow morning.
What? Let me check. Can you share the web page? I
Oh,
would.
sure.
Um, that is Saturday. I still don't know when I will arrive, but I can check. In any case, I could register, pay for it, and doesn't matter if I'm there or not. If I'm there, I run it. If I'm not, it's still worth the try.
Registration, do not worry about it because they do not supply, they do not have English menus. So
Oh,
let me do it for you. It's not a big deal at all. So
okay.
yeah.
And that is in Seoul.
Yes, this is in Seoul.
Okay, it's very convenient.
You
Okay,
just have to enjoy the marathon. That's all.
okay,
And I'll have to ask my father if he can join this marathon as well, right?
okay, okay,
Well,
okay.
even if he's not, you are going to, right?
I hope so. I hope so. Yes. So this is like number one best option in the case I get no reply from the Seoul Marathon, but it's difficult to get a positive reply. So this would be probably the number one choice.
Yes, yes. Oops.
And for the visit in May, I believe I'll be around the 20th of May
Oh, 20.
because there's another fair
Okay.
around the 20th of May.
Ah, 20th of
So
May,
I'm looking at your calendar. I would be interested. Well, yeah, the one you selected,
right?
that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is very near from the
Okay.
Gangnam area. Or where will you be staying?
Mostly Seoul.
Mostly
I
Seoul,
don't.
but mostly
Yeah, mostly
Gangnam,
Seoul.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then this will be perfect. Okay, so if please check your other schedules, itineraries, and please tell me by tomorrow or the day after
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay. Okay,
Then
Jiwon. I
I will proceed with the registration.
okay. I promise.
It's
Thank you
your
so
biggest
much.
assignment, you know.
Thank you so much.
No, no, my pleasure always. Okay.
In the case, just to check
Mm-hmm.
those two options, the green ones,
Mm-hmm.
since it's all in Koreans, Korea and the webpage, they don't have 42 distance.
Oh, sorry, there are no.
like full marathon is 42.
I know.
But this is not for, you don't need to reply now, just in case they do have that option. And I just, well, the one in the 20th of May is
mhm.
half marathon. So they do specify that they only go up to half. But in the
Right.
Korean Open race, just in case if there's a full marathon, would be better.
Uh-huh. So you are trained a lot.
Yes, yes.
Wow. You have
My
level of,
my my goal is full marathon.
oh, okay.
Second choice is half.
Did you have any experiences for full marathon?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Two. In
two.
last year I ran two in Taiwan.
Nice, nice.
Yes.
Okay, I'll ask if they have full marathons as well.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
And I will check in the meantime in May, which is the date of the fair that they're thinking on the participation of the companies
Mhm.
to assure that it's the the correct uh, running event,
Mhm.
and I'll let you know so we can look at the calendar again whether it's appropriate or not.
Right, right. I look forward to see you.
Me too, a lot. We have pending lots of issues.
Yes, yes.
We tried so much twice before, and COVID got in the way, and other meetings.
Will you be have plenty of times when you visit to Korea in March? Not really,
I
right?
I will make time for you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Really, my
We can have some
number one.
times, right? Number one, thank you.
Yes, yes, yes,
We can
yes.
have some
Really.
time, or maybe I could invite you to HRI.
Oh, yes. I would love to. I would make time, really.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. We have so much to
Okay,
discuss.
G1. Yes, yes, yes. We do.
We do.
So let me check. Can you please share the webpage of the Korea Open Race afterward, and I will check and give you feedback as soon as possible.
I already did via KakaoTalk, but
Okay.
I think you cannot read because they're all written in Korean.
But Chrome has a translator web,
Ah, I see.
so I use
Very
that.
smart.
Yes,
Very
yes,
smart.
yes, yes.
Okay, then.
Okay, I will let you rest now.
Okay. I will
You
let
already had.
you work now from now.
Yes, I have work. I have work.
Thank
Have you had
you
dinner?
so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Jiwon. It's been wonderful seeing you. You look better
Too.
each day.
Thank you so much. You too. You too.
Okay, thank you. Let's
Okay.
keep in touch.
Bye.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.